He was the father of his country and has never been given full credit for that the way George Washington has for the United States or in other countries I could go through. He not only drafted our constitutional document and the British North America Act, he saw it negotiated with Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Lower Canada, now Quebec. He shepherded us through the first and led us through the first quarter century of our existence. He was absolutely insistent on his national policy that made us economically as independent as we could from the United States. Because he foresaw, as I foresee, that the more we become economically integrated and absorbed with the United States, the less chance we have of remaining as Canadians and retaining our identity. In one election, he said, "Let us be French? Yes. Let us be English? Yes. But let us be Canadians, first of all." He understood the difficulty of melding the two languages. He would have approved the Official Languages Act. He would have had no trouble with bilingualism. He would have understood the Western alienation, which is why he wanted the railway. I don't think the Canadian people worried about that at all. Remember in his last election, he said, "You've got a choice. You can choose George Brown sober or John A. MacDonald drunk." And they voted for John A. all the way. I mean, they knew the situation. You know, the House of Commons used to meet late into the evening in those days, and I mean, there was a lot of conviviality. That's academic. He's not today, he was then. And you can't judge a man in the past by today's so-called mores. When the House of Commons met into the evening, in my early days, there was a lot of partying after dinner and in the House of Commons. The money might have got into the party. I doubt very much whether Sir John A. pocketed any of that money personally. It's never been proven. When you sponsor something as large as the Canadian Pacific Railway was in those days, the positive side is it brought the country together. The negative side is a lot of money was probably made in ways that shouldn't have been made, but the job got done. He would worry about losing our national transportation systems. He'd worry about the Air Canada. He'd worry about the gradual breaking up of the Canadian Pacific Railroad. He'd worry a bit about Canadian National being more in the United States now as a railway than it is here. He'd be worried about the moving of head offices out of this country. He would be worried about the absorption of our energy industry into the American overall industry. He understood what made this country. You have to have a certain economic resilience and independence if you're going to retain political sovereignty.